Mr. President, we are passing you to Susanna. She's 8 years old and she's from Salisbury, North Carolina.
Good. Hi, how are you? Merry Christmas.
It is.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, correct.
Hi, how are you doing? Okay?
Christmas to you and your family.
Yes.
Oh, that's
How
good.
are you?
I'm fine. You
very
sound
much.
so beautiful and
Nice.
cute. How old are you?
I'm 8.
Wow, so smart. You sound so smart.
This is Crew.
Hi, Crew.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Right, I know. Oh, Pennsylvania is great. We won Pennsylvania. Actually, 3 times, but
Yeah.
we won Pennsylvania. We won it in a landslide, so I love Pennsylvania. What would you like Santa to bring?
Not cool.
Not coal. No, you don't want coal. Well, coal is, you mean clean, beautiful coal. I had to do that, I'm sorry. No, coal is clean and beautiful. Please remember that at all costs. But you don't want clean, beautiful coal, right?
No.
What would you like?
Candy.
Candy? Well, candy is good. Candy is good. Do you eat candy? Do you eat much candy?
Not all.
Well, you eat as much as you want. Be healthy, okay?
Someone on the Trump team thought it was a good idea to let Trump act as a messenger for Santa and talk to kids about what they want for Christmas, as you guys just heard. Now, look, obviously, the first clip, I would say it's more funny than anything, given the context of all the stuff that's happening with the Epstein files. It is kind of a normal thing to call a little child cute or maybe beautiful, though beautiful, I think, is a bit of a stretch, but one could argue, he didn't mean any harm, et cetera, which I can agree with. I just think it's a very funny and a timely thing, given all the controversy surrounding this president with the Epstein stuff. The Pennsylvania thing, we heard him say that Trump won Pennsylvania 3 times, which is a blatant lie because he lost it in 2020, and then he attempted a coup with the insurrection on January 6th. But it's just funny to me that he can't help himself from just lying to kids about election stuff, bringing politics into everything. Then we had the whole clean coal thing, which I thought was also hilarious, given the fact that doesn't even exist. It's just a propaganda pushed by this administration on, wanting to stay with coal and stay with these dirty energy products that we just, that America just can't get rid of and can't keep its hands off of. This is an effort to basically put down green technology and solar, wind, nuclear, hydro, all these other great alternatives. This administration is very much against, most of them at least, which is why China is kicking our ass as far as renewable tech. China is just wiping the floor with the US. And, it's an unfortunate thing because we should be leading the world, in my opinion. But anyways, Trump decided to inject that. And then that final comment at the end there, Trump asked if the kid, eats a lot of candy. The kid said, not so much. Trump said, eat as much as you want. Be healthy, okay? Again, like master of doublespeak, master of manipulation of words, master of saying 2 things at the same time. This is Trump using his campaign strategy and his election and electoral and presidential strategy on kids on Christmas Eve. Mike, what did you make of this whole event with Trump and Melania talking to kids?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think there's too much to it. It's obviously like a gimmick that every White House administration does, as far as I'm aware. I don't really know how long the tradition goes, but I know that over the years, I've definitely seen other administrations do, Santa tracking on NORAD. So I'm assuming they've also either taken calls or answered emails or whatever. I'm sure this is a very common tradition. But I think as you mentioned, there's definitely some oddities. At the very least, you could argue that they're like political gaffes, where Trump is, like you mentioned, the fact that he's calling this 8-year-old girl beautiful, and this is after he was already told that she was 8. The person who introduces the call tells him we have an 8-year-old girl from blah blah blah. And then he also asks, how old are you? Now, I hate to nitpick, but the guy brags about passing all these cognitive tests and acing them and whatnot, but at the same time, he can't remember a thing he heard just like seconds ago. Um, it's a common mistake, though, so I'm not trying to like run him over the coals, but it's just very interesting that that's there, that is evident that despite all this, oh, I'm the smartest, I'm the best, blah blah blah, he can't remember simple things. And yeah, it was just one trip up after another. The whole thing felt very awkward and strange. There were moments where he did have some stride, I would say, but in general, it just feels very strange to have a president pitching political talking points to children, and then half of those talking points being just lies. It's very bizarre to me. And again, I haven't kept up with this tradition, so maybe other presidents have done the same. I don't know, but even if they did, that doesn't excuse Trump when he does it here. And I also just want to point out that Melania was there. We haven't really seen Melania much throughout his second term. She's sort of been in hiding. I literally don't even think she's staying at the White House, if I remember correctly. I believe she's residing somewhere else this whole time. So for her to be there was nice. We don't really see her much, but she had her back hard turned to him. She's pretty much sitting sideways in the chair, to turn her back to him. And it's strange that she was not on speakerphone, but he was. And I'm sure that's obviously to make it a little less chaotic and less confusing, but it's just a weird look. I don't understand why they would have her addressing separate children when they could both address one child together. That would be more meaningful. It would look better. I don't know. It was just very, very, very weird, but maybe that's just because I'm not a fan of this gimmick. I think if my parents had me call into the White House to ask about Santa when I was a child, that's just odd to begin with. So the whole thing's kind of strange. It is a little bit of nothing, but I do think that, he's, for what it's worth, he's making mistakes here. And above all else, like you mentioned, I think that the biggest mistake of all is to refer to that 8-year-old child as beautiful when you're under investigation for pedophilia.
Yeah, you mentioned past presidents probably doing something similar to this, and I think that's probably accurate. I'm like you, I haven't really paid too much attention, but I cannot imagine an Obama or even a Bush or a Clinton or a Biden or anyone else using political talking points when talking to 8-year-olds. Like, to me, that just seems beneath them. I feel like if they would have done that, we would have heard about it because it would have been so odd and strange at the time. So I highly, highly doubt that any president in U.S. history has actually used political talking points when talking to an 8-year-old about Christmas. This seems like something that only a Trump would do, and probably only a Trump has done. That would be my guess. And if anyone can prove us otherwise, feel free to let us know in the comments, because we would love to see that if it exists. I doubt it does. You also mentioned it was interesting and nice to see Melania there, because we barely see her at all, and she's not staying at the White House. Yeah, she's not staying at the White House because Trump destroyed her office there. He took it down, to make room for his billionaire ballroom. So, that whole saga is going on over there. Absolute destruction of a third of the entire People's House. And that's not going very well. We did a story on this a couple weeks ago, and it's been an absolute nightmare over there. The architect has been replaced at least once or twice. The plans have fallen through. Their architecture designs had staircases going to nowhere. Just all kinds of weird and cringy stuff going on with that ballroom. Trump thinks that he's going to get it done in time for him to use it. I highly doubt that's true. Whether he doesn't make it through his whole term, or they probably more likely won't get it done in this term. That's my guess. I think this thing's going to drag out for years and years, but we'll see what happens. If Trump is the builder and real estate guy that he claims he's been, then I guess he should have no problem getting this done. Time will tell. But yeah, overall, like you said, I think this was kind of like an innocent little thing that his team thought, hey, this would be a good look. It's Christmas. Let's prove to the world and prove to America how Christian you are. Maybe if you come on here and do a little season's greetings and talk to kids, that'll like win you some political points, make you look good. Whether it did or not, I mean, that depends on if you're MAGA or not, in my opinion. Anyone outside of MAGA, I think, could probably just see this as the cringy thing that it was, especially if you watch the full thing, which is like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so. You'll see what a weird setup they had there with Melania kind of next to him, like you mentioned, and they were not even facing each other, and you could still hear Melania talking on the phone, but then you could hear Trump and the other person on the line. So it was a bit of a chaotic thing. And apparently they had an actual general that was coordinating the calls. Trump actually mentioned that like 3 times, like, thank you, general, and thanks. And didn't we have a great general? So that was also a bit odd as well. But yeah, overall, a little Christmas thing, and is what it is. And the gaffes are there for the world to see.